I think Luffy's gonna blow up Hyruden. Not like explode him, but inflate him like a balloon. Because we know in Gear 5th, when Luffy is touching someone, he can give them the properties of rubber, meaning he can inflate them like he did during the Kaido fight. So, with that being said, the reason why I think he's going to inflate Hyruden to be the same size as Loki, presumably, is because right now, Loki is huge over Hyruden. Hyruden is a tiny, tiny little baby in comparison to his younger brother. So the reason why I think Hyruden is going to be inflated to be the same size as him is because presumably they're going to have to do an Ikaku sovereignty to beat somebody in this arc. Much like how Dory and Broggy back in the day did Ikaku sovereignty to put a hole in that giant goldfish at the end of the Little Garden arc. So I think Hyruden and Loki are going to combine forces to do the same thing to somebody, presumably the newly possessed Dory and Broggy under the powers of Emu. With that being said, too, would this effect be permanent? Possibly, because I think this is going to parallel with how Emu has made Dory, Broggy, and the rest of the giants or size at this moment. So I could see Luffy doing the same thing to Hyruden in order to combat these forces. Now, with that being said, too, I think it's really putting in place that there is a hierarchy of mythical beasts in One Piece when it comes to mythical zones. So, at the very bottom, you have your demons, monsters, and figures of parable. So, like, say, Kaido, or Onimaru, or Barco, or, say, most of the five elders minus Jupiter, presumably. Above them, you have some sort of figure that has divinity. So, you have Yamato, who is the divine guardian of Wano. Then you have Killingham, who is a Kirin. Kirins are said to have some sort of association with divinity. Above them, you have figures who are divine because they are worshipped the world over. Like how we find out in Elbaf that Nika is worshipped the world over in secret. And it's very funny now that we're getting more context about Brook, because Brook, in a weird way, introduces us to the fact that people who are occultists do worship Satan in One Piece. That's why I think Luffy and Emu are on the same level of divinity when it comes to mythical zones. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Works.